You are now listening to Tough Tiger Talk Flash Report.
You're now rocking with Tough Tiger Talk on the PRO Media Network. Shout out to the LSU Fighting Tiger Nation. We up in this thing for another episode of Tough Tiger Talk. And this one, man, we're going to do another transfer portal update. And this is something covering the offer list. And of course, on the back end of the broadcast, we'll go quickly over the ones that's recruiting to get out. We got a new one here. Offensive lineman Xavier Hill is entering the transfer portal. So a lot of these guys are entering the transfer portal, to be honest with your family. But at the end of the day, I think LSU's gaining more than it's possibly losing, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at this thing as provided by Zach Nagy at LSU Transfer Portal Update, the tracker here. And of course, it shows a number of things, but people want to know, okay, we know a few guys that are leaving. What about the guys who LSU's offering? Here's a look at the offer list right here for the guys there that we see here. Now, Paris Shand, a defensive lineman from Arizona, LSU extended an offer to the Arizona defensive lineman Paris Shand on Monday. He announced via social media Shand, who will be having 2 years of eligibility remaining, is the second Arizona defensive lineman the Tigers have offered in the transfer portal. And of course, defensive line coach Jamar Cain has been on a tear over the last several games, offering Shand and his teammate Keon Bars, who ultimately did commit to USC on Wednesday. But Shand is a 6'5", 290-pound menace from Ontario and had a solid run in Tuscan with the Wildcats, and would give LSU defensive line some versatility going forward, along with Mason Taylor getting back healthy. So, of course, we talk about Keon Bars, who committed to USC recently. Other guys on the list is Josiah Stewart, a big defensive lineman from Coastal Carolina, 6'2", 230. He signed with Coastal Carolina in the 21 class and offered back-to-back dominant seasons. Stewart entered the transfer portal after a coaching change. High-impact prospect. Youngster has already reeled in offers from LSU, Southern Cal, Cincinnati, North Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi State, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Michigan. A lot of people want him. In year one with Coastal Carolina in 21, Stewart had 43 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, and 12.5 sacks. That's pretty damn good. His dominant season saw him get listed to the freshman All-American team. So it'll be really good to be able to get this kid. In year two, Stewart played in 12 games, a total just 36 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, and only 3 sacks. Now, he taken the Sun Belt Conference by storm. Stewart finished with Coastal Carolina career 79 tackles, 25.5 tackles for a loss, 16 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. So he's still on the board for LSU. So we'll see what we can get. Kyle Morlock is another tight end. We just talked about another tight end that the team just brought in, but Kyle Morlock is a guy that they offered an offer to from Charter University, a graduate transfer from Division II Charter University. LSU dished out an offer to Morlock in November, immediately upon announcing his intention to hit the portal to get the tight end added double-digit scholarship offer. So the Tigers relatively thin at the position. We know about Mason Taylor. We did know that Cole Taylor also got some run last year. We know his status. But the Tigers made a push for Morlock with the portal officially open. In 2023, commit Mac Markway coming to town. And that's another player at the position of need. But to secure a veteran of Morlock's caliber would be a big addition for the future. Braden Fisk, another defensive tackle. So they're showing you that LSU's looking in the position of need through the transfer portal as it stands right now. A lot of defensive linemen that they're looking at, trying to beef up that line. And Coach Cain is on the move, proven to be one of the top recruiters in the country at the defensive line position. How will he utilize the portal this month? LSU has dished out an offer to Western Michigan defensive tackle Braden Fisk already. He played 5 years of college football, but remains of one final year of eligibility. He finished the 22 season with 58 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and 7 quarterback hurries, 3 pass breakups. For his collegiate career, he tallied 148 tackles, 27.5 tackles for a loss, and 13.5 sacks across his career. Very interesting. Once again, another defensive lineman, Braden Swinson. He's the edge rusher from Oregon. Totaled 8 tackles, a tackle and a half for loss in the 22 season and his 3 seasons at Oregon. Swinson finished with 35 tackles, 5.5 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. With 2 years of eligibility remaining, Swinson has received a significant interest in the portal. The Tigers are in search of additional depth at the defensive line position after extending 2 offers within that position group in 3 days. It's clear that the message they are sending, they want to beef up the defensive line as much as possible. So Braden Swinson has been added. They also looked at Kyle and offered Kyle Morlock from Charter University, Josiah Stewart, another defensive lineman from Coastal Carolina. They lost out on Keon Bars, who went to USC, who committed there. But perhaps we get his teammate Paris Shand to be there. So yes, indeed, LSU's doing a hell of a job trying to beef up that interior defensive line as well as edge rushers right there using the transfer portal. Remember last year they had much success in the transfer portal, building up the defense, especially the secondary. Also got the quarterback here. So they did really terrific things in 22. They're trying to do the same thing in 23. So great job by the staff all around. And man, they got a lot of high expectations going into the 23 season. So also let's talk about it. Entering the transfer portal, Xavier Hill, the offensive lineman for LSU, he's going into the portal. That was announced today. And of course, we look at an update on who has entered the portal as we see right now. Marcus Dumerville, an offensive lineman, sophomore, he entered the portal. Derek Davis Jr., the safety running back, sophomore, entered the portal. Cam Wire, if you didn't know, the senior, he entered the portal. He entered the NCAA transfer portal on Friday. The Tigers starting tackle in the season opener against Florida State. Wire to be played in just 4 games, starting in 10 games from 2019 to 2022. But a tough performance against Florida State forced LSU to go in a different direction. We already know how that ended. He said, "I'm gone." Colby Fields, the linebacker, who's a freshman, entered the portal. Cole Taylor, the tight end, entered the portal. Desmond Little, an edge rusher who was redshirted junior, he entered the portal. Radarius Jones, the defensive back, junior, he entered the portal. Jack Betch, wide receiver, sophomore, he was more of the higher name guys for us, productive guys. He entered the portal. Damaris McGee, another defensive back, redshirt sophomore, he entered the portal. Phillip Webb, the edge rusher, sophomore, entered the portal. And Antoine Sample, who's a linebacker, junior, entered the portal. So, like I said, when you think about some of the things that LSU is doing, with some of these guys are leaving, going into the portal, and the ones that we are attempting to replace them with, plus the 2023 class commitments, LSU is doing really good. Now, of course, you're going to lose a few here or there, but at the end of the day, man, I like what the direction of LSU is going, and the success they had over this season here is very meaningful. So, it's looking pretty good in LSU, man. Brian Kelly doing a phenomenal job building up the LSU Tigers, man, as we move forward to the Citrus Bowl. So with that being said, we'll be back to talk more LSU and keep you up to date on all
Subscribe to the Tiger Talk channel and stay up to date for all things LSU football.